creating a kind and caring classroom. No student should ever be afraid of going to our class, of going to our school because of bullying, because they are afraid of being made fun of, teased, hurt, harmed. That's why yesterday we talked about this. What we want to produce is a generation of good people, not just smart. In fact, internet is already making them all smart, smarter than usual, because everything is a click away. All information, I mean, really, there is so much information available for this generation of young people today. But what we want to achieve especially is to see them grow up to be men and women of values, more than simply men and women of success. And we're doing this because we saw yesterday, there is a crisis in character. That's why ang topic natin kahapon, urgency of character formation. Yes, now more than ever, this task of forming character has become more urgent, more important, more essential, more crucial and critical than ever. Especially among you who are parents, you are concerned. You are concerned that your son is growing up addicted to gadgets. Your daughter has a distorted view of beauty and fame and yeah. So we saw many of those things yesterday. There is a crisis in character. Here is what the researchers are saying. While we may be producing a smart, self-assured generation of young people, di ba? Ganyan ang mga kabataan ngayon, ano? More confidence, asserting their rights. But, sabi ng research, today's kids are also the most self-centered and stressed out on record. Well, that's what research says. Maybe you and I have different experience. Siguro ang mga estudyante natin ay napakababait, ano? Parang mga anghel. Parang hindi makabasag pinggan. But the truth of the matter is, elsewhere in the world, elsewhere in the Philippines, the young people today are the most self-centered and the most stressed out on record. We are seeing the young people growing up with a certain culture of hate surrounding them. They watch TV Patrol, 24 Oras, TV5 Action News. You hear a lot about violence and hatred and anger and wars going on right now of rebels taking over governments. And then now in the Philippines, kasi election time is around the corner, now is the time for people hurling insults against each other, trying to bring down their opponents, destroying reputations, destroying. There's so much unkindness in the air, a culture of hate that the young people are being subjected to. Yesterday, pinag-usapan natin to, manood ka lang ng Netflix movie, Spotify. You go to Spotify, go to global charts, and look at the top 50 songs around the world. Majority of them contain explicit lyrics, vulgar, or the song is about sex, or sex as a form of entertainment. That is the kind of world the young people are growing up in. And then, every now and then, makakakita ka ng viral video or post with people bashing a person for one mistake or another. Diba, naalala nyo, 2 years ago, nagulantang tayo. Kasi 1 December 23 morning, biglang may lumabas sa Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, tungkol dun sa student, high school student, taekwondo student who was bullying a classmate. And as it turned out, meron pa siyang ibang other bullying videos in the past. Okay, we all, agree to bullying. We all condemn bullying. Pero the thousands of comments there, hindi ka makapaniwala. People saying things like, yung pangalan ng bata, Joaquin Montes. Joaquin Montes, huwag kang magpakita dito sa eskwelahan namin, papatayin kita. Ah, or Joaquin Montes, pag ginawa mo yan dito sa eskwelahan namin, bugbog ang buong pamilya mo. I mean, who gave them the permission, on the other hand, to destroy reputation, not just of one person, but of the whole family? And thousands, tens and thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of comments like that, bashing, destroying reputation of a person. As I said, we condemn bullying, but we don't have permit to destroy reputation, to destroy the dignity of a person, of a human being. This is, after all, still a human being. Pero ganun yung kultura ngayon sa social media. Para bang everyone has the right to contribute to the bashing. And the young people are growing up with that kind of mindset. It's okay to bash. It's okay to condemn human beings. Well, more crisis, the self-absorption epidemic. I mean, this is something we have not seen in the history of mankind. There's no such thing as like this before. You go to a restaurant and you look at the other table with one whole family sitting around the table waiting for their order. Are they talking to each other? No. Most of the time, they are each to his own gadget. Self-absorbed, self-absorption epidemic. This is what we're seeing among the young people today. So all these are contributing to the death of empathy. Lower in empathy levels by 40% than 3 decades ago. And narcissism, vanity, self-centeredness at its highest in the history of mankind. This has never been seen before. And when empathy goes down, bullying goes up, kindness goes down with empathy, because empathy is precisely all about, kindness is all about being empathic, having the empathy for other people. And all these are bringing about other crises, plural, the rise in cases of suicide. Bullying is one of the reasons now why some people, cyberbullying we include, given the online setup now, is contributing to the rise in cases of teen suicide. I should have clarified here. It's teenagers committing suicide. We're seeing things like this now. There's a school that asked for my help. Said, Rentoy, kailangan namin ng tulong kasi 3 estudyante ang nagpakamatay na so far. I mean, it's absurd. Why do we have to deal with a problem like this? We are seeing a crisis. And then, if not suicide, depression. Dati naman, hindi natin kailangan pag-aralan ng mental health issues. I mean, di ba, you and I who have been teachers for decades, we didn't have to be trained on how to deal with a teenager who is going through depression. We didn't have to have such thing as mental health break. I mean, all these are brought about by the digital lifestyle, by the environment, by the kind of mindset brought about by the world that the young people are living in. Now, in the US, it's absurd, right? Here is how they are responding to the crisis of depression, suicide, bullying, cheating. Ganito ang response sa US. Ay, maglagay tayo ng CCTV. Yan. Like as if it's going to solve the problem of character. And sadly, tayo mismo sa Pilipinas affected by this. I know many schools that also resorted already to putting CCTVs in the corridors, in the classrooms. Hulihin natin yung mga cheaters, vandalizers, bullies by installing CCTV. That is not going to solve the problem because that is not going to solve character problem. Or in the US, this is what they're doing. Let's put metal detectors at the entrance. Parang nakakatawa. Anong klaseng solution yan? But again, sadly, in the Philippines, I know many universities that have already resorted to the same kind of response. Let's put metal detectors in the... It's absurd, right? I mean, ang problema is character. Hindi natin magagawa ng solusyon by putting metal detectors. Sadly, some parents also find this as the solution. Ay, bakit ko i-enroll lang anak ko para lang mabully, para lang biktimahin ng bullying. Ako na lang magtuturo sa'yo dito sa bahay. Homeschooling is becoming like an alternative for parents who are losing trust, losing faith in the system. When what we need to do is to create a kind and caring classroom. When what we need to do is to make every student kind, caring, welcoming. And that is what we are going to talk about today. Sabi ng Chinese proverb, a man without a smiling face must not open a shop. Well, let me tell you, my dear fellow teachers, a teacher who is not capable of being kind should not be a teacher. I mean, a teacher who is not capable of caring should not be allowed to teach. One of the most important basic orientations every teacher should receive is to be trained on how to be kind and caring. That is how we're going to address the crisis. So, sabi nitong study, in order to reduce bullying, it is important to change the social climate of the school and the social norms regarding bullying. This requires the efforts of everyone in the school environment. Teachers like you and me, administrators like some of you here, school nurses, and other non-teaching staff like the bus drivers, the custodians, janitors, security guards, maintenance men, cafeteria workers, librarians, and then we should also involve the parents, and then the students themselves. That is how we will be able to create a kind and caring classroom. Dapat sama-sama tayo, lahat tulong-tulong. Dapat every corner of the school shows kindness and caring. Bibili ako ng pagkain sa cafeteria, the ladies there show kindness and caring. Pupunta ako sa PE, storage room para humiram ng bola. The custodian there is kind and caring. Everyone in the school should be a kind and caring agent of formation, because student achievement increases when students feel comfortable in their learning environment. I mean, you don't need a study for this. Alam natin to because tayo mismo, we experience this. How wonderful it is to come to the classroom when you know you're safe, you're secured, people are kind, people are caring. How terrible it is to go to a place where you are not treated well, right? And you're affected. So, let us make our classroom, let us make our school a paradise upon earth where gentleness and kindness reign. And yes, this is valid even in an online setup. You know, what I did earlier, that is what we should be doing in being welcoming. Okay, Don is already here. Hello, Don. Good afternoon. Okay, Emerita is already entering the Zoom room now. Eva is here. Good afternoon. As we welcome our students entering the Zoom room, the Google Meet room, the Microsoft Team room, we are expressing that welcoming attitude. And then that we are happy to see them. Now, let me pause a bit. Please be happy to see your students. One reason is because I know some schools that closed down because they didn't survive the pandemic, because they didn't get the enrollment they needed, because it was just bad time for everyone. But your students enrolled in your school, you should be happy to see them. Here's something that I tell teachers these days. Teachers, dapat nasa marketing mode tayo lahat ngayon. Nasa marketing mode, PR mode tayo lahat dapat ngayon. I mean, we need every student we can get. We don't want to lose anyone. We don't want any student not wanting to enroll anymore for one reason or another. We need them to survive because, as I said, and you know it, some schools didn't survive this pandemic. Some schools had to close down. 35, I heard in Cebu, private schools. 35 private schools had to close down, basically because of problems with enrollment. Maybe because the problems of teachers not being prepared enough. So we want those students and we should be happy and we should show that we are happy that they are there, that they have come to our school and we take care of them. We don't want to lose any one of them. We want to give them a kind and caring classroom. We want to make sure every single day they are in our classroom is a happy day, a beautiful day with kindness, and that we care for them. So, whether you like it or not, we have to be in this mode right now of winning over our students, winning over the parents for our school because we need them. I mean, let's be realistic, let's be practical. Sure, this is not what we were trained to do. This is not our, as teachers, we are expected to teach math, science, and English, not to be a PR manager, not to be a marketing man. But given the situation we find ourselves in now, we have to tell all our teachers in our school, teachers, galingan ninyo, please. We don't want to lose a single more student. Teachers, please be kind and caring. Make the classroom comfortable. But sabi ng research ito, a caring classroom is not only comfortable, but it allows you and me, teachers, to spend more time teaching and less time handling student conflicts. I tell you, I've been in the classroom for 35 years, 34 years. The toughest thing for the teacher is investigating a disciplinary case, right? I mean, you know it, di ba? One of the most draining, nakakapagod, exhausting things a teacher has to do is to investigate a disciplinary case, especially of bullying, of fighting, of cheating. I mean, nakakapagod. Para bang yun, pwede mong sabihin, this is not what I became a teacher for, to investigate. But we can do away with those investigations if the students find themselves in a kind and caring classroom. So it's worthwhile. Okay, so sabi ko kanina, empathy has become a crisis. And look at the effects of the crisis in empathy. It's hurting students' academic performance. It leads to bullying behaviors. It leads to more cheating, to less resilience, making the students unable to collaborate, unable to innovate, and unable to problem solve. All these are because of absence of empathy. So let's win the war. We want to create a kind and caring classroom in spite of the environment, in spite of the culture, in spite of the trends, in spite of empathy being a problem. One of the best strategies, I mean, one of the fathers, the grandfathers of character education in the world is Dr. Thomas Lickona. And he said, you want to win in this battle of creating a kind and caring school? Well, you have to have the 12-point program where you have strategies inside the classroom as well as in the whole school. So this is how to create a kind and caring school. Now we're going to go over a few of them, especially those that are classroom based, especially those that are for us teachers who are inside the classroom, online or face to face, and dealing with the students directly. Let's get into strategies right away. I have so many strategies to share with you, and your problem at the end is where to begin. What will I do? So I suggest, while I am going to make the slides available for you to download, like what we did yesterday, I I suggest you take down notes so that later on you go over your list and choose. You don't have to do all of them, but we have to start somewhere. Here are strategies from Hal Urban, the author of Lessons from the Classroom, 20 Things Good Teachers Do. Even if the title says 20 things, actually, he shares there dozens and dozens of strategies on how to create a class culture, identity, and mindset among the students. And here are his daily four. Some of them he would do before, uh, all the four of them in one class. Later on, he would choose one of these four, and that's what he would do to start a class. So, before starting a class, he would tell the students, okay, choose a partner, okay? And then I'm going to give you 1 minute each, 30 seconds for the one person sharing good news to the other, and another 30 seconds for the other person sharing good news to the other partner. Okay? So that's how we would start it. It changes the atmosphere, when people are exchanging good news. Well, whether it's a simple thing as I found the pen I've been looking for, that's a good news. I passed a quiz yesterday, whatever good news. According to Hal Urban, his students started sharing even intimate good news. My father left us last month and he came back. It's a good news for me. I mean, they started being so at home in this idea of sharing good news that they started sharing even very intimate good news. Another exercise: tell about someone or something that you're grateful for. This gratitude exercise. Same, get a partner, share with that person someone or something that you are grateful for and why. I'm grateful for my dad who brings me to school. I'm grateful to my classmate who helped me um, make up for the quiz I missed. I'm grateful for someone or something. Affirm someone in class, and this one we can do at every class. For example, to start the class, okay, Merita, Eric, Eva, you're on time, you're punctual, good job, keep it up. Jenred. So you are affirming good deeds done by the students. Or somebody recites, affirm, thank you for that effort to be able to recite, to contribute. I know how difficult it is for you. Good job, keep it up. Affirm someone in class, and we don't have to do only one affirmation. We can make it as a habit, affirming people who are doing good. Or number four, make us laugh. Okay, class, next meeting, before we begin our class, I will give time to people who will prepare for a wholesome joke. Okay, make us laugh. Whether it is a joke that you will look for, that you will share with us, or something funny that you will share with us. When you start a class like that where people share laughter, it changes the atmosphere. It changes the mindset and even the disposition of people. That's his daily four, and he would do this four in every class. So, what is your daily four that will change the atmosphere, that will change um, the for example, especially if the situation is tense, people are stressed out. You know that students are have been staying up late to prepare for exams these days, and it's, you know what some students call it, hell week. You've ever heard of them say that? It happens especially in universities, in colleges where I taught. They always talk about hell week, where all deadlines are of different subjects are there in that week, or there are tests scheduled that week. And we sometimes have times like that in the school, right? When students are stressed out, staying up late to prepare for an exam or for exams, or finishing performance tasks that they need to submit all within that 1 week. Okay, let me tell you another strategy of Hal Urban on 20 Things Good Teachers Do. Here is how he would start his school year. And you can do this online. He would make the students describe, okay, class, welcome to our class. It's going to be an exciting year. Now, let me ask you, Hal Urban will say, this is day one. Can you describe to me a classroom you don't like? A classroom you do not like? And then people will start raising their hands. And you write them as the students contribute those descriptions. You write them on one side of the board, or if it is online, you write them in one column. So people will say, sir, I don't like rude classmates. Very good. Let's write that down. I don't like inconsiderate classmates. Okay, let's write that down. I don't like disrespectful classmates. Okay. I don't like offensive language. So let them describe an atmosphere, a classroom they don't like, and then make a long list of it as they are contributing those descriptions. And then you ask, okay, very good. It's a very good long list. How about a classroom you like? Can you describe to me the classroom, the kind of atmosphere you like? People will start raising their hands. They will say, I want a classroom where students are courteous. Okay, you write that down on the other side of the board. Considerate, respectful, polite, um, kind, caring, etc. Now, after you make those two long lists, you will tell the class, okay, class, this did not come from me. It came from you. You said you do not like this descriptions, and you said you like this kinds a classroom with these descriptions. Can we therefore now commit ourselves, pledge, promise that we will not allow these things because you said it. You were the ones who said it. You don't like. So can we now commit ourselves that we will not allow, we will not, we will prohibit these things. And then instead we are going to foster these other things. And then those two things can end up in a poster. The um, wrong atmosphere in one poster and the good atmosphere in another poster. The next time around that you hear someone being rude in a classroom setup, you hear a classmate teasing, no need to get angry, no need to say so many things. It's enough to say, John, and then you point to the poster. You're saying, John, didn't we commit ourselves at the start of the school year that we will not allow that? Rudeness, disrespect, offensive language, teasing. But you don't have to say those things. It's enough to say, John, and then point to the poster. And that says everything. The next time somebody utters a bad language, a bad word, an offensive word, don't get angry, don't shout, don't get mad. It's enough to say, Joey, and then you point to the poster, which says everything that you need to say. Didn't we say at the start of the school year, it came from you, it did not come from me? That is the strategy of Hal Urban, and it works. It works where you, from the very first day, make it very clear to the students, we want to create a kind and caring atmosphere as you students want to be in a kind and caring classroom. Okay, it's a fantastic strategy. I have my own personal strategy when I hear somebody using a foul language. Okay, because it's one of those no ifs and buts for me. I do not tolerate foul language, especially bad words, especially offensive language. So if I hear somebody utter a profanity, Bad word. O nga naman kasi narinig nila 100 times sa Netflix movie yung bad word na yun eh. It becomes a part of their system. But sabi ni Hal Urban, what you permit, you promote. Think about that for a while. What you permit, you promote. Ibig sabihin, if somebody utters a bad language and you don't say anything, you permit it, you're actually promoting it. That's how bad it is. What you permit, you actually promote. So, if somebody utters a bad language, I don't have to get angry. I don't have to get mad. I just say, John, and then I point to the mouth, which says everything. It's like, John, watch your language. I don't allow that bad word here. I don't accept it. Please watch your language. Diba? It says everything. But it's enough to say, John, and then you point to the mouth. Now, here's what normally happens. You normally see something like this. John says something profane, foul, and I say, John, and I point to the mouth. You know what usually happens? John will look at me and say, what? Ano? Bakit? Anong sinabi ko? You see, it has become so much a part of their system, they utter those bad words without even realizing that they utter the bad word. That is how bad it has become. It has become so much a part of their system. And that's why we teachers have to do something about it. We should not permit it. Otherwise, we may be promoting it. Okay, so we want an effective, comprehensive character formation program in order to create a kind and caring classroom. Here's big idea number one: a high quality, comprehensive approach to character education is the most effective way to develop caring classrooms and schools, and thereby reduce bullying. High quality, comprehensive. Hindi pwedeng nasa posters lang. 'Di ba minsan, I mean not minsan, many times you go to schools, ba? Ang daming mga poster, no? Bully zone free. I mean, bully free zone rather. Sorry. Bully free zone. Ah, very nice, ano? May mga posters pa. Bully, keep out. Yan, very nice. Okay, but that's not comprehensive enough. That's not high quality enough. Kahit na ang poster mo binili mo sa National Bookstore, glossy, full color, that is not yet high quality comprehensive. It has to be comprehensive in the sense that it involves everyone from grade 1 to senior high. It involves all teachers, including the math, science, English, Filipino teacher. Hindi lang yung values, GMRC, and guidance office. It has to be comprehensive. Everyone has to be involved. That's why Dr. Thomas Lickona says comprehensive inside the classroom as well as way beyond the classroom, the whole school. And even if we're going to be comprehensive, involving communities like parents, communities like yung computer shop dyan sa kanto. Abay, kailangan natin kausapin din yan. That they will not allow our students to be playing computer games during class hours. Comprehensive. Pati yung community, we have to involve. I mean, kahit anong hirap mo sa loob ng eskwelahan, pero paglabas niya, right across, nandun pala yung video rental, nagpaparental ng pornographic XXX movies, it will not work because we need the support of that neighboring store that they also contribute to forming character, building character. We have to get them involved in our effort to build character. And then the parents, yan. Kahit anong hirap mo sa loob ng eskwelahan to teach them kindness and be caring, have empathy. Pero pag uwi pala ng bata sa bahay, abay ang nanay, 20 bad words every minute. Ang tatay, ay, hindi, mahihirapan tayo. We need to engage them also. And that's why one of the modules we have in October is that one, engaging the parents in this task of character building. They too should be in sync with us. They should do the work that we are trying to push in school at home as well. So, 12-point comprehensive approach to character education, intentional, deliberately seeking to positively impact character development through every phase of the school and classroom life. Okay? Every phase. Meaning, kahit na break time, but the playground is very much part of the school life. Dapat meron din tayong procedures doon on how to build character in the playground, in the cafeteria, in the PE field, in the football field. Uh, Now that we are in the online setup, the same. We have to find ways that the young people, our students, are able to build character even if there is asynchronous class, even if they're just working on their modules and that they are not in our Zoom room or in the Google Meet room. But we have to be deliberate, intentional in being able to do this. So we will look more into other strategies. Okay, sabi natin, we are here to discuss creating a kind and caring classroom. And if you think more about it, kind and caring classroom is all about having the proper school climate, the correct school climate, where there is no bullying. So, what the school climate is determines if there is going to be bullying or not. Bullying decreases when the school climate improves and when the students have greater voice and responsibility for solving problems and making decisions that improve their school. And immediately, I have to tell you, nandun yung key to how we can create a kind and caring classroom. Get the students to have greater voice and responsibility. Make them own this task of creating a kind and caring classroom. It has to come from them. And I'm going to share with you concrete strategies on how we can be able to do that. But please believe it, first, we have to realize, oo nga, we have to do it. It's in our hand. We can make it happen. It doesn't happen just by chance. Chamba lang na nagkaroon ng ganong klaseng school climate. Hindi. It's deliberate, it's intentional, it's in our hands. We can do it. Okay? Kindness matters. Kindness makes a fellow feel good, whether it's being done to him or by him. You see, even if you are just witnessing kindness being done, that affects people. That affects people. Even more so if the kindness is being done to them or being done by them. Kindness is so powerful. It creates, really, it totally changes the atmosphere. So, especially now when we are talking about bullying, school bullying, cyberbullying as a reality. I mean, many years ago, we didn't have to have these things. But no, the Philippine legislators came up with a Bully Prevention Act of when was that? I think 2009. And for a while, that's what I was doing, going around the Philippines, helping schools come up with bully prevention programs because now it is required by law. In case you didn't know, it is a requirement by law that schools should have bully prevention program. Now, with the online setup, we talk of cyberbullying. Let's read some of these. Children remind me of chickens, seeking out the weak and wounded and pecking them to death. They have discovered that my 9-year-old son, who is autistic, is bothered by loud noises, and they scream and whistle in his ear until he cries. A mother. I mean, many of you are parents, and you know no son or daughter should ever have to go through something like this. No son or daughter should ever have to be afraid of going to school. No one has the right to take away someone's happiness. When students are victims of peer cruelty, it interferes with their learning. It disrupts their social and moral development. It makes school a miserable experience. It causes some to even seek revenge. And yes, it causes others to even become depressed and even suicidal. Sabi nitong 8th grade girl who committed suicide, all my life, I have been teased. I love you very much, but I just couldn't stand it anymore. And then she killed herself. And she left this note to her parents. No, no one should ever have to go through anything like that. Let us create a kind and caring classroom. And yes, I'm not just talking about US cases, I'm talking about Philippine setting already. My gosh, it's already here in our midst. DepEd grieving death of student suicide victim, bullying blamed for Batangas teens suicide, cyberbullying pushes a 12-year-old Philam to commit suicide. I mean, we're already talking of students who may have been inside our classroom. And then itong online learning setup is making other people even depressed and suicidal. Sabi ng US Secret Service study, 2/3 of the of the student shooters, yung shooting, every now and then we hear about Columbine massacre, Virginia Tech shooting, and 2/3 of those had been bullied by fellow students. Educational costs of bullying. Peer exclusion in kindergarten is associated with lower academic achievement in later grades. It leaves a scar. I mean, it leaves a mark that makes them affected for the rest of their life. Even observing someone else being bullied can lower a student's academic performance. You see, sabi ko kanina, kindness. People get affected by kindness, even if it is done to them or by them or to others that they observe. Well, bullying does the same. It can lower students' academic performance even if they just observe a person being bullied. So then, let's talk about strategies. 3 secrets of success to creating a kind and caring classroom: staff involvement, student involvement, parent involvement. And the rest of the session, we will just be talking about how to involve the staff, how to involve the students, and how to involve the parents in creating a kind and caring classroom. Okay, so when I was young, I used to admire intelligent people. As I grow older, I admire kind people. Very nice quotation. Okay, so let's talk about the first. How can we involve the staff, especially the non-academic staff, the non-teaching staff, the security guards, maintenance men, auxiliary staff? How can we involve them? Well, we can involve them by this: creating a touchstone, creating a pledge, a manifesto, if you want to call it, a way, okay? Especially more effective if we even, in crafting that touchstone or a pledge, um, most of you already have it. You have it in your mission vision that here in our school, these are our core values. Here in our school, this is what we believe in. Our credo, belief, that's a touchstone. But better if you craft it in a way that it can be made as a pledge, a promise, a commitment, or a battle cry. So let's call it the way. As I said, it's more effective if you even involve everybody in crafting it. Now, maybe you already have it for years. It's there in a tarpaulin. And maybe the way of engaging everybody is simply to make them all review it or give everyone a copy in a how do you call this, laminated form, and that they post it there in their commode, in their desk, in their table. um, Better yet, at the start of the week, you assemble everybody in a general assembly, and together let's recite our way, touchstone, pledge, commitment, credo, our vision, mission. That um, when people work in your school, you make them sign that they will abide by that touchstone, by that way. Even better if you make a big hoopla of a launching, or how do you call that, unveiling, if you have not if you don't have this yet, as a touchstone, as a way, as a pledge, as a commitment, as a credo. Have a sort of launching. Even online, you can do it. And then at the end of the ceremony, you make everybody recite together as one family, as one community, as one institution, as one school. This is how we live our life in this school. This is what we believe in. I'll give you examples. The Northridge Way, a school in the United States, and students, teachers, non-academic staff assemble every week, in order to recite it together. At Northridge School, we pursue excellence in scholarship and character. We celebrate and honor each other by being respectful, honest, kind, and fair. In your case, you put whatever your core values are there. We give our best inside and outside the classroom. This is who we are, even when no one is watching. Now, can you imagine everyone in your school, including the secretary in the accounting office, the lady selling in the cafeteria, the security guards and maintenance men, gathering together every Monday morning and every Friday morning in order to recite the Northridge Way. So, if you don't have that yet, craft it. Get your student council involved in giving inputs. We did this in Southridge School, my alma mater, where I finished high school. And they involved the alumni, the graduates, in crafting the oath of a Southridge gentleman. And we recited it as often as we could in assemblies. And I have never forgotten, I am a Southridge gentleman, and I dedicate myself to our mission of forming families. And all the ideas there of what we stand for as a school embedded in my mind, because we recited it, the oath of a Southridge gentleman. And alumni were made part of the crafting of it. And I remember the graduate who was representing the alumni there said, I want to put in, and I serve others, especially the needy. It was a graduate who wanted it included there, and they included it there. So now all the Southridge students recite that, the oath of a Southridge gentleman. And one of the lines there goes that way: I serve others, especially the needy. I have zest for learning and virtue, driven by my personal vision of my role in the community, which stems from the love of God and the sense of responsibility for the gifts I have received. I live by the Southridge motto, viriliter agite, etc., etc. It works. It works. It makes people more conscious of what do we stand for as a school. Now, every school should have the core values. I see it many times in the patch of some students. Nakalagay doon, scientia, virtus, very nice. Fides, faith. But do your students know what they really stand for? If not, we need this pledge, this way, this touchstone, and make the students recite it, memorize it, and take it by heart. Really take it to heart that this is what we stand for. This is what it means to be a student of your school. Here's another example. The counselor of the school, Roosevelt, said, this is their way. There's a way that students here are expected to act, and a way that they are expected not to act. And it's shown by our touchstone. by our way. Okay, to make it successful, here are 4 things necessary in order to make the touchstone effective. Remember, we are in the first secret of success. Involve the staff. Okay? So, how do we make sure it is successful? Itong implementing the touchstone. Number 1, visibility. It has to be visible. It has to be found in your documents, in your memos to parents. That down there in the is one of the most important lines of your touchstone. A kind and caring school. Yeah. Uh, it's displayed in the classrooms, in the corridors, at the entrance. There's a tarpaulin that announces there, this is our touchstone. Visibility. Number 2, academics. Teachers try to incorporate the core values, the touchstone, into their lessons. The English teacher, the literature teachers will ask questions like, if this character were in our school, do you think he is living according to the touchstone of our school? There, the teachers try to find ways of being able to incorporate into the lessons, into their lectures, into their academics, the core values, the touchstone. Number 3, discipline. Um, when we discipline, we put in the touchstone. John, you realize why you are being suspended, right? Because what you did goes very much against what we stand for as a school, our core values, our touchstone. So we make reference to it even in area of disciplining. And then new students and new teachers should be fully oriented. Okay, welcome, dear new students. Please realize this is what we stand for as a school. These are our core values. This is how we do things here. We make sure that the new students and the new parents and the new teachers are oriented on what we stand for as a school, what we believe in. Okay, now for teachers and for staff, for non-teaching academic staff, there should be an ongoing professional development on the touchstone, on what we stand for as a school, on our core values. Well, visibility. Look at this, how visible kindness is in this school, where every classroom shouts off the message of kindness. We want a kind and caring classroom. We do not tolerate unkindness. We choose kindness. I mean, really, if your students who come to your school 200 days a year, and this is what they see, what they are reminded of, you stand a better chance of succeeding. So that visibility is very important. But as I said, this is not yet comprehensive. This is not yet high quality, but it matters. No? It matters. It becomes comprehensive if every teacher who comes inside the classroom will make reference to kindness. If teachers in whatever subject find ways of incorporating the virtue into the lesson. Okay, so let's go to number 2, student involvement. This is very, very crucial because sabi ng quotation natin kanina, we have to give the students a greater voice. Then we are going to be able to create a kind and caring classroom. Great. Let's continue on. We are now in the secret number 2, involve the students. So how can we involve the students in creating a kind and caring classroom? Here it is. We have to empower the students in doing kind and caring actions because they are the ones who create the atmosphere, really. I mean, the problem of bullying is a problem of among students. And therefore, if we make the students do kind and caring actions, then they too are creating that atmosphere. They're the ones who are in a position to really create the atmosphere. So how do we involve the students in the effort to create a kind and caring classroom? Empower them. And one of the ways that we empower them is by holding class meetings where you give them a voice to speak out if there is bullying that is happening, to speak out if there is a problem that is going on, to speak out in order to contribute to solutions to whatever problem there is, even if it is academic. For example, okay, class, let's meet about the problem of why are many people failing in math. The math teacher says, many of you are failing in the quizzes. Let's meet about it. Class meeting. And you see, that's why this is very important when I talk about class advisory, because it's the class advisor who is in a position to organize class meetings, to hold class meetings. But even if it is not your class advisory, you can hold your class meeting. Okay, class, I notice many of you have not been submitting the assignment on time. Let's meet about it. What is the problem? What are the possible solutions? What are your recommendations? You see, that's class meeting. And by doing so, you are empowering the students. You're giving them a voice. Now, here are 20 different kinds of class meetings. Let's meet class just sharing good news. Let's meet in a circle whip. I'm going to talk more a little about that. Let's meet about just expressing appreciation. Let's meet 30 minutes only to compliment. Anyone can give compliment to another person or to a teacher or let's meet what will be our goal for this year in our subject. Zero failure, that everybody should be able to do better than 85, a grade of 85, to get at least an 85 in our class. That's our goal. Class advisory, that everyone is a member of a club or organization or a varsity team. So what is our goal? Now, let's go back to the circle whip. This is the real way to give everyone a voice. A circle whip is just like this. You are going to tell the students to complete any of these sentences, or maybe for this particular meeting, okay, class, everyone will be given a chance to complete this sentence. Something I like about this class. Okay, no objection, no turning down, no objection to whatever you're going to say. Everyone will be given a choice, a chance to complete this sentence. Something I like about this class. And then it's called the circle whip because you're supposed to form a circle. But if you cannot do that, then just make sure everybody is able to contribute or complete the sentence. Something I think would make our class better. Complete it. You don't realize everybody pala is thinking of the same problem that they want to make better inside the classroom. A decision I think we should make is this. I wondering why, and then they complete it. Something that bothers me is this. I wish, and then this. So the important thing here is everyone is given a chance to voice out a wish, a problem, a concern, something they want to improve, something they want to make better. That's giving everyone a voice. And then based on the inputs, you're going to say something like, okay, great. So it seems everyone is concerned about a specific subject. In the next class meeting, let us discuss what are the possible solutions to that problem, to that concern, to that worry that you have. A voice. Everyone is given a voice. More kinds of class meetings: rule setting meeting, rule evaluating meeting, stage setting meeting, feedback and evaluation, reflections on learning. You see, there are so many things that we can discuss with our students, to do which we give them a voice, and they give the possible solutions, they give recommendations. Number 11, student presentation. You know, you heard that the presentations in the English class was spectacular. Let's uh, present the best ones for everybody to see. And then maybe we can even invite the other classes. Problem solving meeting, academic issues meeting, classroom improvement meeting, follow up on a meeting that we had previously. So in all these things, it's all about giving the students a voice, a participation, and better yet, um, you're actually passing the problem that there may be in the classroom to the students. You're passing on to them to find solutions, to discuss solutions. And that is how we're going to be able to create a kind and caring classroom. Class, some parents are complaining about bullying. Let's discuss it. Let's meet about it. And I need solutions. It has to come from you. You have to be the ones to think of possible ways that we can solve the problem. We can address the concern. Okay? So don't tell me there's nothing to meet about. There is just so many. There are just so many things to meet about. That is how we will be able to involve the students. And then here's more. Make the students, challenge the student leaders, the student government, the student councils. What can students, parents, and the school working together do to prevent cyberbullying? Or whatever problem you may find. Cheating. What can students, parents, and the school working together do to prevent cheating? Or absenteeism, or tardiness, or poor quality work that students are putting in. Whatever problems you may find, make the students discuss solutions. Get students to take responsibility. Counselors, for example, can create an anti-bullying intervention teams made up of students. And at each grade level, team members step in when they see someone being picked on, or when there is a report that is received about a victim of bullying. Let the students themselves take responsibility, or the students can provide emotional support to victims. Here's another strategy I saw being done in schools, and it's fantastic, where you have the seniors, well, okay, the graduating students welcoming the freshmen. And they spend one day together in that special welcoming day where they will take lunch together, they will play games together, so that you avoid competition, fighting between freshmen and the seniors. You mix up the teams. The teams are made up of 5 players from freshmen, 5 players from the senior class, the seniors batch. And then let them play football, futsal, basketball, dodgeball, whatever it is. Then they take lunch together. And then afternoon can be freshmen performing in a program, and the seniors with their own numbers. And guess what happens next? The first years are excited to come to school because now they know they have the older kuyas and ates to look up to. They know there are older students who know them and that they can run to if they have problems, encounter difficulties, whether it is academic or even school life, that they feel they are being bullied by classmates. They know they can run to those seniors that they have become friends with. It totally changes the atmosphere. That is really creating a kind and caring school atmosphere, climate. The smallest act of kindness is worth more than the greatest intention, Khalil Gibran says. Freshman transition program. The older students are assigned as mentors to all freshmen. The school trains the mentors, and the mentors and their freshmen meet weekly or on a regular basis. You see, assigning buddies. So this is like a buddy system where the first year students, the freshmen, have an older mentor, specific person that is assigned to be his mentor. That is how we involve the students. Or if it is not one-on-one, it's class to class. An older class is assigned to be buddy of a younger class. And then there, they can get together on a regular basis. They do tutorials of sorts, helping the younger students in their academics, advising them about certain teachers, how to go about surviving a subject and things like that. No? Buddy system, but this one on a class to class basis. It's fantastic. It's a wonderful school when you have classes working together, older and younger ones, but bonding together. Um, it becomes like a school that is kind and caring, and the students excitedly go to their school. Okay, now, especially the younger kids, they like a challenge, and you can give them um, 1 week to try to do as many of these challenges in the list. Now that we are in an online setup, one of the first things you can do is ask the students to come up with a list of 50 things that they can do to practice kindness in this online setup. Let's zoom in to some of these challenges. This list is for face-to-face setup, classroom setup. So, and during this week, they have this list and they tick off, they check as many as they are able to do. And then maybe you can reward with a certificate those who are able to complete all the 50 challenges. And they're very simple: complimenting 5 people, smiling at 25 people, hugging a friend, recycling a trash, picking up trash outside your school. Let's go to the other quadrant. Cutting out 10 hearts and giving them to friends, entertaining someone with a happy dance, make a kind poster for cafeteria helpers, show appreciation to a counselor or mentor, saying good morning to 15 people, etc., etc. Let's look at the other side of the list. Reading a book to a younger child, giving an apple or a note to your teacher, stepping up for someone in need, carrying your friend's books, holding the door for someone, patting yourself in the back, thanking a bus driver, and many more. Saying hello in a new language, bringing a flower to the office staff, showing appreciation to your principal, being on time person. So all these 50 challenges that they will try to complete in 1 week in celebration of Kindness Week. I love a school where you have students are scampering in trying to do 50 kind acts in that week. As I said, now that we are in the online setup, the first thing is to come up with a list of 50 acts of kindness that students can still do given this online setup. And many of them may be acts of kindness at home, helping a younger sibling with a chore, doing the chore, washing the plates, cleaning the room, fixing up their own bed, whatever it is. But 50 different acts of kindness, celebrating kindness in that period. And they check as many as they're able to do. Okay, so let's go to the last, parent involvement. Okay, you've involved the staff, you've involved the students. You will be a kind and caring school if you're able to get the parents involved. And here is how we can get them involved. First, make the parents realize they are the first and most important character educators. In fact, ang principle is, bago pa pumasok ng classroom ang bata, ay dapat natutunan niya na ang kindness at home. Dapat natutunan niya na sa parents ang greeting good morning, good afternoon, saying po and opo, or being respectful. But we are seeing more and more students coming inside our classroom, parang they didn't learn hard work at home. Konting assignment bibigay mo, reklamo. May reaction kagad na, oh no, ganyan, ano? So, we need to step up and we need to get the parents involved. Make the parents know that you expect them, you expect them to be the primary character educators of their children. And that in fact, our job in school is simply to reinforce the character that they are already teaching at home. So that if one day you need to sanction a student for cheating, the parent should not go to school and ask for, why are you punishing my son? Teka muna. In fact, parents, you were supposed to have been the first ones to punish your son for cheating. Because it's your job, really. We are supposed to be here just to reinforce what you are supposed to be teaching them at home. So, make it clear to the parents that you expect them to be the first and most important character educators, and then expect them to participate. How? Well, let them know what you are doing in school regarding character education. The, by the way, uh, I hope it has been calendared in your school to have an orientation for parents on how you expect them to support the students, to support you, the school, in this online setup. Otherwise, they may get the impression that you don't need them. We need them. We need them to do what we used to do inside the classroom. John, sit up straight. John, come on, don't sleep. John, stop slouching. John, face here. We used to do that inside the classroom, right? But now we cannot do that. Do that. It's now the parents who are supposed to say, "Oh, John, are you attending your class? Come on, sit up straight. Don't slouch. Don't do it while lying down in bed. Are you doing your module? Are you doing your asynchronous class? Come on, don't do it while lying down in bed. You're going to fall asleep." It's now the parents who are supposed to do that. But if you did not orient them, then they will not expect, they are not going to do it. That's why I hope if you have not done so yet, you should calendar a parent's orientation on how they can help your son, your daughter in their class, in their online class. Okay? Make very clear your expectations that you now expect them to participate, to help out. And you cannot succeed, in fact, without their support. Really, we cannot. Um, it's not like the parents deposited their children to you and then you are supposed to do the miracle of suddenly making your the children good and smart students already. So make the parents, for example, know what you yourself, you as a school, are doing in order to develop the character of their children. In other words, we are telling the parents, parents, partners tayo dito ha. Hindi tayo opposite camps. Hindi tayo opposite fence. We really are doing the same thing. We want your son, your daughter to grow up to be smart and good. But we need your support. We need your help. We're here ready to collaborate. We will do our best. We're doing our best in the school, but we cannot do it without you parents. So it has to be very clear to them. Get the program to them. And then, for example, itong cyberbullying, that doesn't happen in school. It happens at home, in your computer, ma'am. Ma'am, in your computer, Mrs. Reyes. In your computer, Mr. The cyberbullying is happening there. That's why we need you to help us in this. Send home guidelines to help the parents monitor their kids' online activity. For example, we need to tell the parents, siguro hindi nyo dapat bigyan ang anak ninyo ng sarili niyang computer or laptop or tablet with his own Wi-Fi signal in his bedroom. Because he can wake up at 2 a.m. and you don't know. He may be accessing pornography, violent video games, or worse, he may be entertaining a visitor in his room through the internet, a murderer, a prostitute. Uh, mm, I mean, really, because that's how it is, right? When the kid has his own computer and his own internet access in his bedroom and he locks the door, he is like entertaining visitors that he did not ask permission from you. I mean, parents, di ba, you're very particular about the friends your kids have. You even sometimes ask them to ask permission from you if they can be friends with that neighbor, with that friend, with that person. You're very particular. Then why are you allowing your son, your daughter, to entertain visitors inside his bedroom with his Wi-Fi through the internet? So that is how it is. When you give them their own computer, laptop, tablet, and his own Wi-Fi signal in his bedroom, you allow him to entertain any type of visitors. The computer, the tablet, the gadget should be there in the middle of the living room or in the study room that is open to anyone, that anyone can go in and out there. And that is the only place where you can access internet. Otherwise, he may be watching Netflix from 12 midnight to 5 a.m. And then you wonder, bakit siya laging natutulog during the day? Bakit parang laging sluggish, antukin? Eh, syempre, because you gave him his own gadget at his own bedroom and etc. There should be guidelines that parents should be given for them to be able to monitor the online activity of their kids. It's not that we don't trust them, it's just that we know human nature. We know original sin. We know how it is to be a kid. So, what else can we do to involve the parents? Every so often, you can give them character education homework that they will work with their parents on. For example, okay, this is the question in English literature. You will discuss with your parents, who are my 5 heroes? Okay, make your parents make a list. You come up with your list and then you discuss why and then compare, okay, your list. And then you will write a paper on it. So every so often we can make the students do assignments that will involve the parents. Interview your parents in their experience or role during the EDSA revolution, or make your parents discuss with you the what their impressions were during the presidential impeachment trial, like that. So make them do assignments that will involve the parents every so often. The teacher makes a big difference. I was a bully before I came to this school. I used to make little kids cry, but when I met Mrs. Brown, I changed. I'm not a bully anymore because Mrs. Brown taught me about character. Well, the point is, dear teachers, it is in our hands. We are in a position to create a kind and caring classroom, to create a kind and caring school by involving the staff, by involving the students, by involving the parents. And yes, we can do it. It is within our power to create that atmosphere. So that's why, dear teachers, every so often we should ourselves check ourselves. Am I kind enough? Am I a model of kindness and caring? Here is a self-inventory. Do I warmly greet each student? Do I seek other opportunities to connect with each student? It's one of the modules we have in October about creating relationships. For education to be effective, it must be personal. There's got to be a personal relationship, that students are not just class numbers, one more face in the crowd. No, every student is a human being, a kind and is a thinking, feeling human being. That's why We have to be exemplars of kindness. Am I well prepared for class on time? Do I model patience and courtesy even under stress? And yes, I have to admit this online setup is stressing out many of us. But in spite of that, we have to be model of patience and courtesy. Do I treat my students impartially? Do I challenge all of them to do their best work? These are very good questions to ask ourselves in order to determine, are we really a teacher who is kind and caring? Here's another strategy that can be used in order to create a kind and caring classroom: anonymous compliments. By drawing a lot, by picking um, paper with the name of another student, each student draws the name of a classmate. By the end of the week, the student writes an anonymous compliment about that person, yung nabunot nila, shows it to the teacher, and then puts that compliment in the compliment box. And then on Friday, the teacher will post all the compliments on the bulletin board. I mean, how wonderful it is to end the week on a high note like that, where you read a compliment about yourself, whether it is about your attitude, your behavior, your optimism, your cheerfulness, your smiling um, disposition all the time, or that you are someone who is always ready to help. It's a very wonderful way to end a week. Here's another strategy. Instead of simply asking students, okay, class, um, uh, who did a kind act to you this week, you know, at the end of every day, you ask the students, who saw kindness today? Okay, can you describe it? Who saw respect today? Can you tell us? And then by saying so, they're affirming another peer, another classmate, another friend. They're saying something good that somebody did. That's affirming people. Who saw determination today? Who saw sharing today? That's another strategy. Or here's another strategy: having a good deeds journal. And you can do this even in an online setup. At the start of every day, students bring out their good deeds journal and they will write a good deed I did yesterday and a good deed I will do today. And it's just like that, making them realize, I mean, it's possible the student brings out the journal and then realizes, wow, I didn't do a single good deed yesterday. That's bad. And then they will say, I will do many good deeds today. The consciousness of filling the world with good deeds, that's something really very important. Of course, needless to say, but I'm saying it anyway, we have to teach our students to say thank you, please, good morning, good afternoon. We have to teach courtesy to the students at whatever grade, at whatever level. Sometimes even correcting them if they don't use the word please. And then we ourselves modeling it. Okay, class, please bring out a half sheet of paper. Okay, please choose a partner now. Kindly, please. Okay, please put down the pen. Time's up. So we have to be models ourselves of using please, thank you, sorry, class, sorry. Sorry, I forgot to announce last meeting that, okay, sorry, I made a mistake. It's on page 5, not on page 10. Sorry is a very good word, and it's part of manners. We have to teach courtesy. As we also teach them when we say good morning, good afternoon, even if we just met them along in the classroom, we meet them in the corridor, good morning, good afternoon. It's okay. That's courtesy.